Okay. I feel like I'm a California girl stuck in the Minnesota tundra. Which is funny since I've never actually lived anywhere west of Minnesota.
Elf?
In fact, I've never lived anywhere outside of Minnesota. My name is Katie, and I would like to introduce myself to you today. I'd like to tell you a little bit about my background, some interests that I have,
Hey, Matt.
and something that I think is unique about myself. As I said before, I've never lived anywhere outside of Minnesota. Born and raised, I grew up in a small town with my family. My parents and two sisters who are both 3 years older and younger than I am. Most would assume that I suffer from middle child syndrome, but I would like to think that I am immune to it. I met my husband Justin when I was 16 years old. I met my husband when I was 16 years old at a hockey game. I watched as he flirted outrageously with my best friend Allie, as I sat and admired him from afar. I went home that night and wrote in my journal that I had just met the man I was going to marry. 3 short years later, we said I do, and I became his bride. Not long after we got married, we welcomed our baby girl Emily into our family. She was a gigantic bundle of challenge and also a blessing. And even though we were not at all prepared for it, I somehow managed to convince my husband that we were ready for baby number 2. When I was 9 months pregnant with, when Emily was 9 months old, I was pregnant with James. And even though having 2 kids so close together in age has been very difficult, it has also been very good. I was a stay-at-home mom until James was almost a year old, and at this point I went to school to pursue my dream of being a nurse. After I had graduated with my practical nursing degree, we'd moved to Minneapolis, where I worked in a busy OBGYN clinic, and I discovered my love for women's health. And it was here that I was introduced to the world of midwife and have found my calling. We moved back to Bemidji, where I have started school again, this time for my RN, and I'm loving school and loving learning and loving the fact that I am one step closer to becoming a midwife myself. When I'm not busy chasing after my children or studying, I like to do something that I call drinking. I'm an avid reader and will read just about anything that you put in front of me. I started reading at a really young age and devoured books such as The Boxcar Children and The Babysitter's Club and the Goosebumps books by R.L. Stein. In my late teens and early 20s, I discovered Danielle Steele and read every single book of hers, and have since found authors such as Augustine Burroughs, Jeanette Wells, and Jodi Picoult. And I also am a fan of Ina May Gaskin, who writes fantastic books on midwife. My favorite part of reading is the fact that you can be knee-deep in real life, and by opening up a book, you're transported into somebody else's life. And so it's kind of like taking a mini vacation from reality. Another thing that I like to do to relax and unwind is to dance. I think that this is one thing that makes me unique, is my ability to dance regardless of the situation and regardless of who is watching. It's my sober superpower, which none of my friends can do unless they are under the influence. I was always the awkward, clumsy child growing up, and I was always all elbows and knees and tripping over my gigantic feet. I had no rhythm whatsoever. So when I was 21 years old, my friend took me to a bar for the first time where everybody was drinking and dancing and having a good time, and I was very nervous because I didn't know what to do with myself. But I realized quickly that I didn't want to be the one stuck on the wall, so I took a deep breath and started dancing, and I haven't stopped since. Now that I've introduced myself to you today, I hope that you have learned a little bit about me and who I am and what shapes me into the person that I am today. My family, my love of learning and reading, and my ability to bust a move all come together into full circle and contribute to who I am today. Thank you so much.
Hey! You're a hand!